can I talk to you for a minute? Can I just speak to that part of you that has been so open, so vulnerable, so giving, that you forgot there were parts of you that deserve to be sacred? See, sometimes life will have us believing that to be strong, to be successful, to be loved, we have to expose everything, that we have to lay it all out, our thoughts, our dreams, our struggles, our pain, so the world can validate us, approve of us, celebrate us. But I came to remind you today that a woman must always know what to guard, what to hold close, and what to reveal in due season. Because let's be real, sis, there are people out here who don't understand the weight of who you are. People who will mishandle you, misunderstand you, misuse you. And if you don't know how to protect the treasures God placed inside of you, you'll find yourself drained, disappointed, and distracted from your purpose. You have to know that everything about you is not for public display. Everything about you is not up for discussion. There are some things that are just for you and God. Some things that should only be whispered in the presence of the Holy Spirit. Some things that should be protected with the wisdom of a queen who knows her worth. Let me tell you something. Life will teach you. Oh yes, it will. It will show you that not everyone who smiles in your face has good intent. Not everyone who claps for you is truly happy for you. And the hardest lesson of all, that sometimes the ones closest to you will be the very ones who betray you. That's why wisdom is necessary. That's why discernment is essential. Because when you know what to hide, when you know what to protect, when you know what to keep between you and God, you move differently. You carry yourself with a grace that is unshakable. You stand firm in the knowledge that not everyone deserves access to the deepest parts of you. Let me speak directly to your spirit right now. There are 3 things a woman must always keep hidden, not because she's being secretive, not because she's being deceptive, but because some things are too precious to be laid bare before those who haven't proven themselves worthy. Some things must be preserved because they are the foundation of who you are, the fuel for your journey, the key to your destiny. And if you let the wrong hands touch them, you risk losing what makes you powerful. The first thing a woman should always hide is the depth of her pain. Listen, I know that we live in a time where transparency is praised, where people tell you that you have to share every struggle, every heartache, every tear to be real. But let me tell you something. Your pain is sacred. Your pain is the soil where God plants your greatest lessons, your deepest wisdom, your most profound strength. And not everyone should have access to that. Because when you expose your pain to the wrong people, they will either use it against you, minimize it, or exploit it. They will take what hurt you and turn it into gossip, take your vulnerability and twist it into weakness. But when you guard your pain, when you take it to God first, when you allow Him to heal you in private, you emerge stronger, wiser, and covered in grace. You see, a woman who knows how to carry her pain with dignity, with wisdom, with divine protection is a woman who cannot be broken by the world. She's a woman who refuses to let her past be a weapon in the hands of those who do not have her best interests at heart. She is a woman who walks with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that her scars are not for public display but for personal testimony. The second thing a woman must always hide is the fullness of her dreams. Oh sis, let me sit down and tell you this. Everyone is not meant to hear your vision. Everyone is not meant to know the depth of what God has placed inside of you. Because some people, whether intentionally or unintentionally, will speak against it. They will project their fears onto you. They will plant seeds of doubt. They will try to convince you that what you see is impossible. And if you're not careful, you will start believing them. See, dreams are fragile in the beginning. They need protection. They need nurturing. They need faith. And when you expose them too soon, you risk them being crushed before they even have a chance to grow. That's why you have to be selective. That's why you have to use wisdom. Some things you take directly to God. Some things you pray over in the quiet moments. Some things you work on in silence until they are strong enough to be revealed. Because when the time is right, when the foundation is firm, when the vision is ready to be seen, no amount of negativity, no amount of doubt, no amount of opposition can stop what God has set in motion. But until then, guard it, protect it, keep it close, and only share it with those who have proven they can carry it with the same faith and love that you do. And finally, the third thing a woman must always hide is the depth of her moves. Let me tell you something. There is power in silence. There is power in moving in a way that keeps people guessing, that keeps people wondering, that keeps people unable to sabotage what they cannot see. Because when people know your every step, your every plan, your every decision, they can interfere, they can block it, they can manipulate it. But when you move in silence, when you let your actions speak louder than your words, when you let your success announce itself, you become unstoppable. See, a wise woman understands that her next move is not for public discussion. She understands that there are some victories that must be won in private before they are celebrated in public. She understands that her steps are ordered by God, and sometimes that means walking in a way that confuses the enemy. Because when people don't know what you're up to, they can't stop what's already been destined. So sis, I came to tell you today, protect yourself, protect your heart, protect your purpose, because you are too valuable to be an open book to everyone. You are too powerful to let unworthy hands touch what God has given you. You are too divine to allow the world to dictate how you move, how you heal, how you dream. Stand tall, walk wisely, and know that what you hide is just as important as what you reveal. Pain is a language only the soul truly understands. It is deep, personal, and sacred. It holds the echoes of your past, the weight of your experiences, and the lessons that have shaped you into the woman you are becoming. But too often, in a world that demands transparency, we are pressured to share our pain before it has even had the chance to heal. We are told that vulnerability is strength, that openness is authenticity, and while that may hold some truth, not every wound is meant to be displayed. Not every battle needs an audience. Some pains require solitude. Some struggles demand privacy. Some healing only happens in the presence of God. You see, there is a danger in exposing your pain to the wrong people. There are those who will not see your struggle and comfort you, but rather see your vulnerability as an opportunity to wound you further. There are people who will take your truth and twist it into gossip, who will use your brokenness as entertainment, who will pretend to care but secretly rejoice in your suffering. And if you are not careful, if you do not discern who is truly for you, you will find yourself pouring out your soul in spaces that were never meant to hold you. A woman who understands the power of guarding her pain is a woman who refuses to let the world define her by her wounds. She knows that her past is not a performance, that her struggles are not for public consumption, that her healing is too precious to be mishandled. She knows that some things must be taken to God before they are shared with the world. She understands that there is a time for speaking and a time for silence, a time for revealing and a time for retreating. She does not rush to prove her resilience by exposing her suffering. Instead, she lets God do his work in her heart, in the quiet, in the stillness, where no one else can interfere. Pain is a process. It is not something that can be easily explained, nor is it something that everyone will understand. And the truth is, not everyone is capable of holding space for your hurt. Some people will listen, but they will not truly hear you. Some will claim to care, but they will not walk with you through the storm. Some will offer advice, but they will not stay long enough to help you carry the burden. And this is why discernment is crucial. This is why you must know when to speak and when to remain silent, because not every listening ear is a trustworthy one. There is strength in discretion. There is wisdom in knowing that your healing does not require validation from others. There is power in allowing God to mend your heart before you attempt to explain the process to those who may never fully understand. When you guard your pain, you take ownership of your healing. You refuse to let the world dictate how you process your struggles. You choose to heal on your own terms, in your own time, without the weight of unnecessary opinions. And when the time comes, when you are ready, when your scars have turned into strength, you will share your story not from a place of brokenness, but from a place of victory. But until then, let your pain be sacred. Let your healing be between you and God. Let yourself mend in peace, without the need for applause, without the pressure to perform, without the fear of being misunderstood. Because your pain is not for everyone to see. It is for you to overcome. Dreams are fragile in their early stages. They are like seeds, small, delicate, and needing the right environment to grow. But here's the thing. Not everyone will understand the vision God has placed inside of you. Not everyone will see what you see, believe what you believe, or support what you are working towards. And if you are not careful, if you expose your dreams too soon to the wrong people, you risk them being crushed before they even have a chance to bloom. A woman must learn the power of protecting her dreams. There will be people who, out of their own insecurities, will try to discourage you. They will project their fears onto you, telling you that what you desire is impossible, unrealistic, or too big for someone like you. Not because it's true, but because they cannot see themselves achieving something similar. They will tell you to settle, to shrink, to be realistic, but their lack of faith does not have to be your reality. What God placed inside of you was not meant for them to approve. It was meant for you to believe. There are also people who may appear supportive but secretly hope you don't succeed. They will smile in your face, clap for you in public, but behind closed doors, they will question your ability. They will downplay your progress, waiting for the moment you fail so they can say, "I told you so." The support is the moment when you feel successful. And if you let their words get inside your spirit, if you allow their doubt to settle in your mind, you might start believing them. You might start hesitating, second-guessing, and delaying what God has already set in motion. That is why it is so important to be selective with whom you share your dreams. Some things need time to grow in silence. Some things need to be nurtured in private before they are revealed to the world. If you look at nature, you will see that some of the most powerful things begin in the dark. A baby grows in the womb. A seed develops beneath the soil. Diamonds are formed under intense pressure. Your dreams are no different. They need time, protection, and a safe space to develop. And when you expose them too soon, when you put them in the hands of those who do not have the faith to believe in them, you risk suffocating them before they can take root. Wisdom teaches us that everything does not need to be announced. Social media will have you thinking that every step you take needs to be documented, that every win needs to be celebrated publicly. But the truth is, some of your greatest victories will happen behind closed doors. Some of your most powerful transformations will happen when no one is watching. Some of your most meaningful breakthroughs will occur in moments of solitude with just you and God. And that is okay. When you protect your dreams, you give them a chance to develop without interference. You allow yourself the freedom to fail, to learn, to adjust without the pressure of outside opinions. You give yourself permission to grow at your own pace without the weight of expectation from those who do not understand the depth of what you carry. And when the time is right, when your dream is strong enough to stand on its own, when your vision has been refined through prayer, hard work, and faith, you will step into your purpose with confidence. Not because you need validation, but because you already know that what God has for you is undeniable. So be mindful of who you share your dreams with. Not everyone is meant to be a part of your journey. Some people are just spectators, some are distractions, and only a few are truly destined to walk with you. Choose wisely, move in faith, and trust that what is meant for you will unfold in its perfect time. There is something powerful about a woman who moves in silence, a woman who doesn't feel the need to announce every step she's taking, who doesn't seek validation for every decision, who understands that some things are best kept private until they are complete. Society tells us to share everything, to post our plans, to talk about our next move, to prove that we're doing something, but wisdom teaches us otherwise. Wisdom teaches us that not everyone needs access to what we're building, not everyone deserves insight into our process, and not everyone should know our strategy before it unfolds. When you move in silence, you protect yourself from unnecessary interference. There are people who may not openly oppose you, but their energy, their words, and their silent doubts can act as barriers to your progress. Some people will smile in your face, pretend to support you, but deep down they are hoping you fail. Not because they hate you, but because your growth challenges their comfort. Your ambition reminds them of what they are not doing. Your progress makes them question their own stagnation, and instead of dealing with their own fears, they would rather see you stumble. That is why you must be strategic with what you share and when you share it. Some moves require privacy. Some shifts need to happen without an audience. When you are building something great, whether it's a business, a new career, a relationship, or a personal transformation, you need to protect that process. You need to give yourself room to make mistakes, to learn, to refine your vision without the noise of outside opinions clouding your judgment. Because the moment you start announcing your every step, you invite opinions that you didn't ask for, criticism that you didn't need, and distractions that slow you down. Look at nature. A tree doesn't make noise when it grows. The roots spread deep beneath the ground. The branches extend upward, but the process happens quietly. The same is true for the most powerful moves in your life. The strongest foundations are built in silence. The most meaningful growth happens when no one is watching, and when it is time for you to shine, when your work is ready to be revealed, people will see the results, not just the process. Moving in silence doesn't mean being secretive. It means being wise. It means understanding that not every opportunity needs to be shared, not every success needs immediate recognition, and not every plan should be public knowledge. There is strength in knowing when to speak and when to hold back. There is power in allowing your success to speak for itself instead of seeking constant validation along the way. When you move in silence, you eliminate unnecessary pressure. You are not performing for an audience. You are not constantly explaining yourself to people who don't understand your vision. You are not allowing negativity or doubt to infiltrate your mind. Instead, you are focused, you are intentional, you are moving with clarity, knowing that your purpose does not need permission from others. And when the time is right, when the work is done, when the foundation is solid, the world will see what you have been building. They will see the results of your discipline, your consistency, and your faith. They will see the strength of a woman who didn't need to announce every step, but instead let her actions speak louder than words. So keep building, keep working, keep growing, and let your success be your response, because a woman who moves in silence is a woman who cannot be stopped. Not everyone clapping for you is truly happy for you. That's a hard lesson to learn, but it's necessary. Some people celebrate you publicly while envying you privately. Some will walk beside you pretending to be allies, but deep down they are waiting for the moment you stumble. And if you are not careful, if you are too trusting, too open, too quick to assume that everyone around you has pure intentions, you will find yourself hurt, betrayed, and wondering how you didn't see it coming. Discernment is not just a skill, it is a necessity. A woman who discerns well is a woman who protects herself from unnecessary pain. She is a woman who listens beyond words, who watches actions more than she trusts intentions, who pays attention to how people respond to her wins, not just how they react to her struggles. Because some people only love you when you're struggling. They only feel comfortable when you're doubting yourself, when you're uncertain, when you're looking to them for guidance. The moment you begin to rise, the moment you step into your power, the moment you no longer need their approval, their energy shifts. And it's not always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, a backhanded compliment, a dismissive tone when you share good news, a lack of enthusiasm when you succeed. Pay attention. Because a woman who discerns well will never be blindsided by what was always there. She doesn't ignore red flags, she doesn't excuse patterns, and she doesn't allow history to blind her to reality. Not all friendships are meant to last forever. Some people were only assigned to a season in your life, and when that season ends, you have to be willing to let them go. Holding on to expired relationships out of loyalty will only keep you stuck. You can love someone and still recognize that they are not good for your spirit. You can appreciate what someone has done for you in the past and still acknowledge that they no longer align with where you are going. Growth requires separation, and separation requires discernment. Jealousy doesn't always look like jealousy. Sometimes it looks like unnecessary criticism. Sometimes it looks like unsolicited advice that makes you doubt yourself. Sometimes it looks like constant comparison, as if your wins somehow threaten someone else's position. Pay attention to how people treat you when you're walking in your purpose. Do they celebrate you with pure hearts, or do they secretly compete with you? Do they support you when no one is watching, or are they only present when they can be seen? A woman with discernment understands that her circle is just as important as her dreams. She does not allow just anyone to have access to her energy, her mind, or her spirit. She surrounds herself with those who genuinely love her, who want to see her win, who celebrate her success without feeling insecure about their own. And if she senses that someone's energy is not aligned with that, she does not hesitate to create distance. You don't owe everyone access to you. You don't have to explain why you're moving differently. You don't have to justify outgrowing relationships that no longer serve you. Protect your peace, protect your space, and most importantly, protect your spirit, because when you walk in discernment, when you allow God to show you who is truly for you, you save yourself from unnecessary heartbreak, wasted time, and misplaced trust. Watch how people move. Listen beyond their words. Pay attention to the small things, and when someone shows you who they truly are, believe them the first time. A woman's power is not just in what she shows, but in what she protects. When you know your worth, you carry yourself differently. You don't seek validation from people who don't understand your value. You don't beg for attention from those who don't recognize your greatness. You don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Instead, you walk with the quiet confidence of a woman who knows she is enough, without the applause, without the approval, without the permission of anyone else. But knowing your worth isn't just about confidence, it's about protection. It's about understanding that some parts of you are too sacred to be accessible to just anyone. Your heart, your mind, your energy, these are treasures, and treasures are not meant to be carelessly displayed. They are meant to be guarded, preserved, and only shared with those who have proven themselves worthy of them. Because the truth is, not everyone deserves access to you. Some people will only come into your life to take. They will drain your energy, manipulate your kindness, and leave you empty if you allow them to. They will pretend to care only to benefit from your generosity. And if you don't know your worth, if you don't recognize that you are more than what you can offer others, you will keep giving until you have nothing left for yourself. But a woman who values herself knows when to say no. She knows when to walk away. She knows that protecting her peace is more important than pleasing people who don't truly care for her. You have to set boundaries. You have to be intentional about who you allow into your space, because your worth is not measured by how much you do for others, but by how much you honor yourself. And honoring yourself means refusing to settle. It means refusing to tolerate disrespect. It means refusing to stay in places where you are not valued. You are not created to be an option, an afterthought, or a backup plan. You are a priority. You are a masterpiece. And if someone cannot see that, they do not deserve a seat at your table. The way you carry yourself teaches people how to treat you. If you allow yourself to be disrespected, people will continue to do so. If you constantly overextend yourself for those who never show up for you, they will take advantage of that. If you tolerate half-hearted love, you will always receive less than you deserve. But when you start setting the standard, when you start demanding more, when you start walking in your full power, everything around you begins to shift. The people who only wanted to use you will fall away. The relationships that were built on convenience will fade, and in their place you will attract those who see you, who honor you, who respect you for the queen that you are. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You don't have to convince people to value you. The right people will recognize your greatness without you having to beg for it, and the wrong people, let them go. Because a woman who truly knows her worth does not chase, she attracts. She does not beg, she chooses. She does not settle. She waits for what aligns with her spirit. So protect yourself, protect your energy, protect the parts of you that make you who you are. Not everything about you should be accessible to everyone. Not everyone deserves to know your next move, your deepest thoughts, your softest heart. Some things are meant to be kept sacred. Some things are meant to be cherished by those who have earned the right to hold them. And the moment you understand that, the moment you walk in that power, you will never allow yourself to be undervalued again. It looks like you originally asked for 5 keynotes, but now you're asking me to expand on keynote number 6. Do you want me to create a 6th keynote first, or would you like me to expand on one of the previous ones in a different way? Let me know how you'd like me to proceed. A woman who understands what to protect is a woman who walks in power. She knows that her pain is sacred, Her dreams are valuable. Her moves are strategic. Her discernment is sharp, and her worth is non-negotiable. She does not waste time explaining herself to those who were never meant to understand her. She does not allow the opinions of others to dictate the way she moves. Instead, she walks with quiet strength, fully aware that everything she guards is a part of what makes her unstoppable. There is wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. There is power in choosing what to share and what to withhold. Not everyone deserves access to your deepest places. Not everyone should know your struggles, your plans, or your heart, because when you protect what is sacred, you create an atmosphere where God can work without interference, where growth can happen without distraction, and where your purpose can unfold in divine timing. So move wisely, speak carefully, love intentionally, and never forget that a woman who knows what to hide, what to reveal, and what to protect is a woman who cannot be broken. You are strong, you are worthy, and you are destined for greatness. Walk boldly in that truth, and when they wonder how you did it, let them watch, let them see the results, let your life speak for itself.